Hi, welcome. Now I am going to show you how to get data from a tab delimited text file and create a pivot table. Okay, so what I have is the Excel worksheet, and this is a very new worksheet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the data from the tab delimited text file. Okay, then I am going to create a pivot table. Okay, on that data. Okay, so I need to go to data and get external data. From there I'm going to from text. Okay, so text is our text file. Okay, so my text file is in data files. Okay, what I have is the sales tab delimited, which is the tab delimited file. I open it. Then once I open it, it shows text import wizard. The text import wizard, we have choose the file type that best describe your data, either delimited or text with fixed width. Okay, so what I have is delimited, and from first row onwards you want to import, or you want to import in the middle also possible. I am importing from the first row. Does my file has data headers? Yes, my data has headers. Okay, so because the first row is the header of each column. Okay, so header name is there, product, customer, and so on. Okay, then I click next, and then what I have here is that what is the delimiter? My delimiter is the tab. Okay, so once I press on tab, then it automatically divides the rows into it divides each row into according to the tab there. Wherever the tab is there, it split into next column. Okay, so then treat consecutive delimiters as one. If you have a multiple delimiters are there and you want to treat as one, you can treat it. Or if you have the delimiter, if you are not checking this, but if you have continuous delimiter, then what it will do, it will change it to two columns. For in this case, you see this one is quarter 3 and quarter 4, it's no values there, so it is supposed to be a two delimiters, tab and tab. Okay, so if you put a consecutive as one, then what will happen? If value is here, okay, fifth column is there, and it will move to the quarter 4. Okay, so I just uncheck this one. Then next, then you have whether each column you defined what is the column is about. In this case, the column is text columns. First two columns are text columns, then the remaining 4 columns are number columns. Okay, so treat numbers as numbers. Whenever the numeric value is there, it will treat as numbers. If you check the general. Okay, then press finish. Then you can see import data. Okay, the import data is select how you want to view this data in your workbook. Okay, so we have only one option here, table. You don't find any option on pivot table, pivot chart and all. Okay, if you are using MS SQL database or MTB database, you have other options. Okay, for this case it's only one option. Where do you want to put the data? Existing worksheet. Okay, so the cell, I just press the cell name, then press OK. Okay, you can see the data is already popped out in the sheet 1. Okay, which is the data. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I am going to use this data to create a pivot table. Okay, so once you select the data, then you go to insert, okay, and use pivot table. Okay, once you press pivot table, then it will pop up out. Choose the data that you want to analyze. Okay, what data you want to analyze you already selected, and the table or the range is already selected. Then choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. Where do you want to place the report? In a new worksheet. Okay, so press OK. then it pops out two things here. One is the pivot table report area and the other one is pivot table fields pane. Okay, so in the pane you can see that you have all the fields are there. Whatever fields you select here, it will be coming to the pivot table report. For example, I just select the product, then the count of the product. I change the row label to product. Okay, so the data which appears here is the used on the data from the text file which is in the Excel worksheet. Okay, so now the thing is that now for this pivot table, the source data for this pivot table is this sheet of data. Okay, not the file data. Okay, so I'll just open the file data and see. Data files. Okay, I have the, this is the file data we have. Okay, so you can see here, this is the data is imported into the sheet, and then the pivot table is on that pivot table. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to do a small test here, that I am going to change this mutton 1 to mutton 2. Okay, and save it. Okay, I change the text file, but what happens here is that the pivot table, I am going to refresh, see what is happening. Okay, I refreshed it, nothing happens because nothing changed in the source data, because for this pivot table, this is the source data. Okay, the source data from the text file is actually, the text file data is source data for this table, but for this table, that is the sheet data, is the source data for the pivot table. So whatever is changed in the actual source is not impacted in the pivot table, even though you refresh. Okay, so what we need to do, how can we get the current data in the text file, and you want to bring it to the pivot table, then how can you do that? It is possible, but what you need to do is, it's a two-way process. One, you must refresh the table first. How can you do that table? Right click, go here, refresh. Okay, then it will show you what is the file name. It's already, this table is built on, which is sales tab delimited. You just put import. Okay, once you have done, it is updating from the actual source file. Or you can, for every month you are using a different files, you can use the different file name also, but the format must be same because the pivot table is using it. Okay, now you go to the pivot table, and now in the pivot table you refresh the pivot table. Once you refresh, then you can see the Alice mutton 2 is in the pivot table. Okay, this is the way you need to refresh the pivot table. You want the pivot table to get the most updated data from the text file. Okay, so if you are using a different MDB database or SQL Server database, okay, you don't have this step, keeping a data in a sheet. Okay, all you have is only the pivot table. You can straight away create a pivot table, you refresh, it will directly fetch from the database. Okay, but in this case, it is, you need to update this first, then refresh the data first, then you refresh the pivot table. Okay, hope this example is helpful to you to bring your tab delimited text file data into your worksheet, and then you create a pivot table on that, and then whenever you want the new the similar table the similar text files need to be updated, you can go there and refresh the data, then bring that data by refreshing the pivot table. Okay, hope this video is helpful to you. If you like my videos, please press the Alan Sam channel button, which is available in the screen itself, and God bless you.